So recently, I replayed an old game that I haven't touched since I was a lot younger, and usually when I revisit a piece of media that I haven't engaged with in a while, my experience, aside from nostalgia, feels a lot different because when you're a kid, you just kind of, you just sat there going with the flow, you feel me? Like, you don't really understand what's going on, or at least you don't perceive things the same way you would now. I mean, obviously, but like, y'all know what I mean. You start to actually pay attention to the story, start questioning how certain things were made, and decisions on art direction, game design, or whatever. Like, why did they do that specifically? Mirror's Edge is amazing. This game has aged so nicely. Like, just look at it. If you guys don't know what Mirror's Edge is, it's a first-person parkour game about a group of people called runners. And what runners do is deliver packages containing information, because the world you live in is heavily monitored and controlled by the government. So, they need to be jumping across rooftops and stuff to avoid law enforcement. It's crucial. You play as Faith, a runner whose sister is framed for a murder she did not commit, and you spend your time in the game trying to clear her name. But I can't lie, after beating the game a couple of times, I was very interested in its development process. Like, how did these folks do that? Like, this game was made almost 20 years ago. For this video, I wanted to take the time to learn a little bit more about Mirror's Edge and show you guys why this game deserves a lot more love. Hey guys, uh, welcome. Go ahead and take a seat. Today, y'all gonna learn today. Trust, y'all gonna learn today. Alright, let's get it. Mirror's Edge is a 2008 first-person action-adventure platform game developed by DICE and published by Electronic Arts. The game was released for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 in November
I
2008.
might just stop reading the Wikipedia.
My bad. First conceived of in July 2006, this game was made for the sole purpose of creating something new and exciting. DICE at the time was doing really well with the Battlefield franchise, and FPS games in general were popping, so they felt this was a good opportunity to expand their portfolio. Of course, DICE wanted to play into their strengths and not venture too far outside their comfort zone, but when trying something new, you're bound to come across lots of obstacles. Due to the FPS genre at the time being overcrowded, and said genre being DICE's strong suit, DICE decided, stop it. We don't need the blicks. I'd rather run high, jump fast, I'd rather jump high, run fast, and if someone tests me, I got these hands for 'em, which is what led them to first-person movement or free running. Y'all don't know that's how the conversation went in the DICE conference rooms. I was there, I saw it. I heard everything, I saw it. You better believe me. You better believe. Around the same time, DICE found their protagonist for this new project, Faith Connors, born from a rough sketch meant for a shelved cops and robbers game. And actually, it's kind of crazy to look back and see this written so long ago and it not having any controversy at the time, but her design was meant to appeal to both men and women because, and I quote, a truly human heroine that, although athletic and attractive, was not overly sexualized. She was meant to be someone who looked iconic and aspirational without being unattainable. Would you look at that, man? That's crazy. Anyways, it seemed that DICE was now bringing their vision into reality. But now began the real challenge. Mirror's Edge, to my knowledge, was the first of its time to feature a first-person mechanic in tandem with a free-running / parkour-centric game. The developers at DICE would have trouble creating the first-person animations due to difficulty making it look right, And when you think about it, FPS games only require like a couple of simple animations to be made, like reloading, sprinting, and crouching. So to make first-person movement look smooth and have it flow nicely was something that they were unsure could even be done, at least in the way they wanted. Basically, in order for the first-person animations to look cool, Faith's arms and legs would have to be unrealistically proportioned. But at the same time, in order for the in-game shadows to look right, there would have to be another realistic animation rig running at the same time, further doubling the amount of animations needed. And they needed to make a lot of animations, and apparently there are hundreds. Through lots of trial and error, however, this ambitious idea for a first-person game was actualized. But the greatest challenge was yet to be overcome. Anyone you hear talk about this game mentions how beautiful it is. Like, this is 2008, and this game has by far the coolest looking graphics I've ever seen. Ever. And I'm not just saying this because of nostalgia or anything. Like, I for real, love how this game looks. And I'm sure you do too. This was of course entirely intentional. The art direction for this game grew from the desire to stand out from other games and be immediately recognizable. This clean look was chosen for both development and narrative reasons. The former being because, as I previously mentioned, this game was meant to be easily distinguishable from other games. But narrative-wise, there are actually two reasons. The first being because the game takes place in a dystopian society in the near future where life is made to be comfortable to those who conform, and the government controls its citizens and media through heavy surveillance and security. Also, like only a few corporations own everything, even to the extent that color is only allowed to be used by these corporations. So the city appears basically scrubbed of normal life, like even the trees are white. You see this? The second reason being you play this game as a runner. And because your work is really fast-paced and dangerous, DICE's art director at the time wanted the player to see the world as he imagines a runner would see it. I think if you're a runner, you would start to read the environment, getting rid of details that didn't matter. Most colors would be irrelevant, but your intuition as a runner would highlight significant details, which is where the idea came about of having a generally white world with blocks of strong primary colors to show the player where to go. But because this game visually is mostly just strong colors, it would be very easy for it to look really boring. And you gotta remember, this is 2008, okay? This is how other games were looking in 2008. To solve this problem, DICE worked with a company called Illuminate Labs. And what they did was set up all the lights in a level first, then send that setup into a rendering program which calculates every single interaction those photons of light can have within that level. They then take that light map and bake it into the normal textures of each object in that level. Then they hand tweak the lighting after it's all set up to their liking. By the way, my bad to any person watching this video who actually knows anything about game development and lighting. I promise you I have no idea what I'm talking about. I tried learning a little bit about lighting to maybe try to understand and explain it a little better, but lighting by itself is such a complex aspect of gaming alone that there's no way I could do that. So my bad for real. But yeah, now I'm saying, y'all see the finished product, absolutely worth all that time they put in. And to wrap it all up, this game has one of the coolest, most seamless, and well-crafted soundtracks I've ever heard, man. Please just play this game. It's so cool, bro. A very admirable creation from DICE. Like, if y'all look at this game, every aspect, every stage of development, the developers were in uncharted territory. Many of the things accomplished in this game were done without guidance. It was things the developers had to figure out for themselves. There was a vision, and that vision was brought into reality over a long period of time. No shortcuts. And I really appreciate that. And that's why I made this video. Cause I just think it's so cool when a nigga has a vision and they just do it. And the only way to do it is you just gotta have faith.
I have to stop before I pass out.
I was too young to remember exactly how it started. The authorities said the changes were for the greater good. But good isn't the same as right.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you to everyone. Thank you for watching this video. If you made it up until this point, I appreciate you for giving me your time. Really. Like, that means something to me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. This is the first time I did some actual research for a video. So I don't know. That's partly why it took a long time. Because I'm new to this for real. But hey, I know I got a long ways to go. I don't know. I'm just excited to make some more videos, man. I got some cool video ideas that'll hopefully come out real soon. You know. Anyways, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. For real. Stay up. Alright, bye.